Hi, welcome back to the second half of the Halloween special. If you're listening to this before the first half, you're wrong. Apart from that, if you are listening to it afterwards, universe is right. I'm joined by Tom and Corby. Matt is
Hello.
not here for reasons.
He's dead. We killed him.
They got to him, took him away to the spirit realm.
By they, we mean us. We got him.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah, we're the
We
ghosts
did
in
this.
this
This is a
situation.
confession tape.
This is
we
a
go to the
metaphor.
police in 5 days.
Show this to
we'll be
police
back.
in 5 days and we will be arrested.
He'll be in the episode.
Because that was recorded in the past.
Yeah.
Because this is a message from the future. Ooh,
It is.
And that's how time works.
Also, if you listen to the episode before the Halloween special, you'll have found out we also predicted water on the moon. So that's
On the moon.
Moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you drink the water from the moon, you become immune. That's, I believe, what NASA
Oh,
has
I
said.
bet you could make so much money if in like the middle of America if you started selling moon water, genuine moon water, and just I don't know. Anyway,
Don't give Nestle any ideas, John.
I won't.
Genuine moonshine.
The first half was obviously the two Toms talking about the plot of Bloodborne and how everything's eventually a maggot if you stare at it hard enough, I guess, and also
Everything.
also how centaurs can get really wrong, and we also talked about the clown craze.
We talked about clowns.
And the
We
most
did chant-
terrifying being to ever exist, the Burger King.
Burger King, yeah. We did end up chanting "Drown the clown." Now these are more guidelines than rules. We have to stress this. Not
It's
our
more
fault.
just sort of, it's not so much an instruction as it is just friendly advice.
It's a suggestion. That's all it is.
Yeah. If you're looking for something to do on a rainy day,
If you're
Drown
looking
a
for
clown.
something to do this Hallows Eve,
it's rainy already, so you got off to a good start.
It is, yeah. Yes. The second half will progress with
right
Max
now.
talking- yeah, right now.
Running away from Burger King and clowns. I am
As we all are in our nightmares.
just constantly.
He can reach 30 miles per hour.
I mean, if he's doing Uber Eats, he has a scooter, so...
Oh no!
Just unblinking.
Does he just chuck a crown at you, and if it lands on your head, you turn into a Burger King? As in the person, not the actual restaurant thing.
That's something like food. Anyway.
I don't remember a Burger King being here.
Just in your garden.
God.
No, I am taking a dive into urban legends from around the UK. Specifically 5, because urban legends, as it turns out, don't have a lot to them.
Should have gone with
Pick
7.
5
That's the
that interested
standard.
me. Yeah.
7's
However-
normally standard.
Well, the UK one's either really good or I saw a threatening goose and I think it haunted me. That's pretty much it.
I saw a
Like, you either
goose
get
with a
really
knife
good
and...
ones or really bad ones. There's no in between, really.
So I'm gonna let you guys pick which ones we do. We got 5.
Do we have
Which-
titles?
Pick a
or-
number, and we'll go from there.
Uh,
John's going for 4. Should we start with 4?
Yep.
I'm trying to
Alright.
upset the
yeah, I
Chinese.
just rolled a 4 on a dice, so...
Then we're going with number 4.
The stars aligned.
Short one to kick things off. Shorter than the rest. Are you sitting comfortably, children?
No.
Good. I
just
don't
begin.
fucking
Hang
care.
on, let me just... Yes.
So, London is well known for many things.
I thought that was your opening
Including-
sentence. London is well known.
It's true.
Anyway, guys, that's the report. London is well known.
London is well known. London is well known for many things, including its station. One station? Station.
I was gonna say-
Multiple
I was
stations.
about to say, which one?
It's station in life, darling.
Beacon Tree Station is much like any other. It has platforms, lights, trains, rails, and a ghost. Dun, 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 dun. But unlike Casper or the phantom hairy hands of Devon, this ghost
Please
has no face.
Please tell me we come across him later.
Wait,
No.
So the phantom hairy hands of Devon do have a face?
Apparently.
Just to clarify.
They're just two hairy hands, but they do have a face sort of drawn on.
Apparently someone
the
has seen
pads.
the face. Apparently somebody has
Pan's
seen the
Labyrinth
face of the
ones.
Devon Hare. Oh no. Oh. In 1958, a horrendous train accident occurred at Beacon Tree, killing unfortunately 10 people. After that, the sightings began. As recent as 1995, people have seen a blonde-haired woman in a pretty dress sitting alone at the station. But when they get her attention, all they see in her face is a voidless sheet of black. Oh, spooky.
What is it with train
I
stations?
was,
and
I
ghosts?
was,
You
for
just
some
reminded me
reason
of
I
a
thought you were just gonna
Japanese
say,
one that I might talk about
your
later.
train has been delayed.
I got John.
It's just like, okay, is that it? Is it just like, okay, fine.
Is this real life?
Hey, you want to go for a drink? Oh, no, thanks. Alright. I can take a hint.
This is why we're all single. We just accidentally keep hitting on ghosts.
Oh. Even late at night, security guards and attendants of the station have seen her. But they know to leave her alone. Because apparently if you go near her, something might happen, but it's not stated what.
Your train will be delayed.
Some say that the station doors still rattle at night.
Of course they do, it's an old fucking train.
It is
Sorry,
unclear if she haunts the Beacon Tree station still, because nobody has seen her since 1995. But it cannot be denied that some halfway... Fucking hell, what have I written?
That's a long train.
It's a long
Wait for a train.
It's unclear if
38.95.
it's unclear if she still haunts Beacon Tree Station. But it cannot be denied that some halfway decent art has been produced because of her.
Oh.
Pull up the picture in Discord now.
Oh, now we get to just judge if her dress really is pretty.
Oh,
Put on
if I
our
can
fashion
find
critic hat.
picture.
Still just looking at Burger King.
Yeah. I can't find any arts, but I will send a thing in chat to you.
I'm picturing the... Not to bring it back to thingy, but I'm picturing the Bloodborne doll again. Just without a face.
Oh, that is a closer up image than I was expecting.
Indeed.
Hasn't loaded me yet.
She's also
That
not
is-
blonde. I feel ripped off.
That is... Yeah, sorry, I don't know what I can do about that.
We can't judge the pretty dress. It's not in this picture.
Okay, Tom, imagine that face on this person.
Ah!
It's the Bloodborne doll.
But that is
No,
the
it's not either.
faceless lady of Beacon Tree Station. Ooh,
I always think you're going to say Bacon Tree.
Bacon
That
Tree
it?
Station. I've got 5 of these, John.
No, I meant
If
like
she's
that
not been-
picture.
That's literally it.
If she's not been spotted since 1995, maybe she got on a train and went to haunt a different station.
She's
And
Maybe,
she's just sort of
maybe.
haunting up and down a particular line.
What
The
do you
Southern
guys?
Rail system.
What do you guys think if it's not a ghost? Then what do you think it is? Do you think she just got her train and
left.
with
had a
mirror
particularly
tape to face.
bland face that day?
Yeah.
Oh no, I think it's a ghost. She's just haunting other places.
Ah, shit.
She's
Mirror
haunting a
tape to
train
face.
that travels.
A train
to
actually
different
arrived,
stations.
so she had to leave. She's got on the ghost train. Took the midnight ghost train going anywhere.
Anywhere. Oh, okay.
No.
Which one do you want next? 1, 2, 3, or 5?
Number 3, please.
Number 3. Oh, my favourite one.
Ooh.
Oh.
The two reactions. Oh and oh.
Prowling the moors and hills of Britain are myriad small rodents, birds, and sheep. But is that all there is?
Can confirm. We went recently.
We did. There were a lot.
There are also farmers.
There are.
Wild
roam.
farmers.
They prowl those moors.
They do. I mean, there's some rampant beekeepers around here. I don't need to tell you, but it's bad.
Well,
Don't we know one?
we do,
Yes.
except Clyde to his own car. Which is good, because it wasn't someone else's car.
I guess that's better.
anyway. Well, it might not just be small animals roaming the moors. In 1820,
Large animals.
we might get to that, Tom. In 1820,
Savage
a
badgers.
man and his dog, out for a stroll, laid eyes on a terrible phantasmal beast, 3 to 5 foot long,
Ooh.
with yellow white eyes and huge pointy teeth. This is the first known sighting of the Beast of Bodmin Moor. Whoa.
I don't like how you described it
Ooh.
as long.
I've heard of this one.
It was 3 to 5 foot long.
I know, but that doesn't tell me how tall it is, and that's terrifying.
Oh, yay big.
What? Just a really fucking long legs. It's actually 6 foot up.
Horrifying.
When he says 5 to whatever foot long and about yay big, I am now picturing a sausage dog.
I'm
munchkin cat of
picturing
horrifying
5
proportions.
Subway sandwiches, just sort of in a row.
Oh, you're gonna like some of the fucking Beast
With
of
a
Bodmin
lizard
Moor
head.
pictures. This is the best Beast of Bodmin Moor picture.
Does it look like cat dog?
Oh no, you look at that terrifying creature.
That's just a fucking cat!
It's a cat.
That is actually a domestic cat.
I've seen
What's wrong
that
with
bastard
that?
in my
My
back
cat.
garden!
Here's
I've seen
an
that
artist's impression.
in my sitting room this evening.
Here's an artist's impression. Which, yes, more terrifying.
Okay, that just looks more like a
This one
panther.
is a bit more feral.
The Beast of Bodmin Moor is allegedly a phantom wildcat that has been seen with eerie regularity since 1978, after tens of livestock were found injured, mutilated, or dead.
Huh.
Oh no, not tens.
High numbers indeed.
It's almost dozens.
This picture, it looks like its mouth is glowing.
It is.
Does it breathe fire?
I think
Beast
that's
of
meant to
Bodmin Moor.
represent the
one of its
phantasmalness
powers.
of it. Between 1980 and the late 90s, there were over 60 reported sightings. Witnesses claimed the silence, no, not the Doctor Who villains, accompanied its presence, as did the death of dogs, pets, and more livestock. Now, the silence, for those of you who don't know, is when you are in the wilderness and literally everything goes quiet, including the wind.
Yeah. No. Where?
I think I've had that happen once. and
Haven't you haven't you covered this story from in whatever was it Swordenborg? That's where he came from.
Swordenborg? What?
Bladenborough, that's the one.
Oh no, the
Oh,
beast
that was the Beast
very
of
different,
Bladenborough.
Tom. Very different.
I beg to differ. So far, this is the same story.
What? No.
But this one's in England.
Definitely
So,
won't be
as
the same
was the
kind of
Beast
animal.
of Badenborough. It got
No,
around according to it.
The Beast of Bladenborough was in America and then Brazil. Very different. So,
I also love how I just changed its name from Bladenborough to Swordenborg.
the Beast of Swordenborg. So scared were the people of Bodmin that they would be next, that an investigation to find it was set up in 1995. Just like to point out that no people have actually died, possibly, that I know of. This investigation was deemed inconclusive, despite the fact that a leopard skull was found. Alas, this was found to be from a leopard skin rug.
Huh.
How it got onto a moor, I don't know.
Someone just walked into their house. It's like, I found the skull of the beast.
Just drops it in a
Then
river.
their eyes just sort of drift down to a very flat leopard skin carpet, and you're like, oh, I think I've made a mistake.
This did nothing to stop the sightings. In 1997, someone claimed they spotted what was clearly a pregnant female jaguar.
Clearly.
They obviously knew what they were talking about.
I mean, that is instantly recognizable. A pregnant female jaguar.
To be fair,
Trust me, I'm a botanist.
my family are pretty damn sure there was some sort of big cat living near us down south. In fact, they're fairly certain they saw it when they were taking us out on a bike ride when I was really tiny young, and they were terrified that it was going to get me.
Could
Did
it
it
have
get
been
you, John?
No,
the Beast of Bodmin Moor?
Good.
That's what we
but
think.
they think it was some sort of panther or the black leopard kind of thing.
This
Wow.
this is John's doppelganger.
Escape
The
from
real
a
John was
zoo.
raised by wolves.
Well, we'll see if you're right about that, John. In 1999, RAF reserves performed a search using cutting-edge night vision. They were also unsuccessful in finding the beast.
Yeah, but I
Did
mean, they
the
probably couldn't
RAF
find a
reserves not have
badger
a whole
either.
lot
That's all
of
I'm
stuff?
saying.
They probably, yeah.
Did they
I don't know
think?
why it was the RAF reserves.
Did they think to turn on ITV and watch the chase?
Did they turn it on?
The beast continues to be active. There were over 200 sightings between 2000 and 2011, with more in the last few years. Fresh paw prints were found in 2016, and a big cat allegedly killed a variety of pets and livestock near Harrow Barrow as recently as 2019. And when I say big cat, I mean they're like a lion or a tiger, not a big house cat.
Not Fat Lawrence from
Not
the
Fat Lawrence.
children's story.
Also, I love the name Harrow Barrow.
Harrow Barrow is a great name. Where's Harrow Barrow?
Somewhere in Cornwall.
Sounds
Reminds
right.
me there's like a tourist destination thingy somewhat near me called Creepy Hollow, and I'm like, that's also a good name.
I think I've been to Creepy
Isn't
Hollow.
that a... Oh no, Sleepy Hollow is a film.
So, what is the beast? Does anyone have any theories before I delve into the meat?
I told you he came from
The meat
Swordboard.
of...
Rampant badger.
Is it
Rampant
Fat Lawrence
Badger,
himself?
Fat Lawrence, Corby,
I told you it's the Beast of Swordboard.
the beast of Sword and Board on a sabbatical.
Look, know what? He ended up in Brazil. He didn't tell us how he got to Brazil.
It was a long journey. He did take a couple of years out.
This is his
So-
gap year.
Gap year. He went to find himself.
And sadly, he came to the UK to find himself.
So, there's been quite a few suggestions. Some people think it's an extinct breed of animal that used to live in in England a couple of thousand years ago. Others say that it's an Alsatian of huge size. Others still...
An Alsatian.
An Alsatian. Others still think it might be a particularly aggressive illegal bobcat.
God damn it.
Legal
Alien-
bobcat? What about the
An
legal?
illegal bobcat.
Snuck over on a raft.
Have you got a license, Mr. Bobcat? Wow, you'll see you in jail, you scum.
Well, alien big cats, as they're known,
Khajiits.
are common sights in Britain. No, not Khajiits.
Because she wears if you have coin.
As we all know, Britain doesn't have a native big cat population, unless you count Fat Lawrence.
Oh, I mean, there's Scottish wildcats, but not that big.
They're Scottish wildcats, but they're not.
There is a picture of Fat Lawrence on screen for people who does not know
Oh,
what Fat Lawrence is.
magnificent!
Jesus, I forgot how like puby he was.
Yeah, it's a good way to describe him.
Anyway.
But there's lots of big cat sightings in Britain, but they rarely prove to be true. Could the beast truly be an escaped big cat? After all, a fuck ton of pumas got released from private zoos in and around Cornwall in the late 70s and early 80s.
Yeah.
But it could also be paranormal. Regardless, if you hear a
all look from the same
scream akin to a woman in terror late at night in Bodmin, don't follow it.
That's the mountain lion scream again,
Yes,
isn't it?
it is
Why
the
do we keep,
I'm
we keep coming back to that.
I told you, it's the Beast of
It's the Beast of
Swordboard!
Edinburgh. It's like, I was reading it, it's like, this is a copy and paste.
It does say where I used to live in 1991. A Eurasian lynx was shot near Norwich, Norfolk.
Mm.
So that's something.
There's lots of big cat sightings.
I remember
a lot.
a few years ago there was a sort of mild panic in Essex that there was a lion going
Well,
around.
Oh, yeah. I was going to touch on the Beast of Bodmin Moor has been seen as far afield as Kent and Scotland. Gets around.
No, that's just a different beast.
Apparently not.
Went on holiday in the Highlands.
I guess the five
Took a
feline
gap year
feline
from
doesn't
his
quite
gap
the same,
year.
Like,
Right, I
team.
am convinced. I agree with Corby that this is just the sword and board beast on a sabbatical.
You would think that the Beast of Bodmin Moor would be mainly seen around Bodmin, not
Yeah.
Apparently
in
not.
Kent and Scotland and all
No.
of it. Harrow Barrow.
Oh, so 1, 2, or 5 next.
One.
Yeah.
1.
Two,
Okay.
one. Yeah. What I was
Can I just
gonna
read
say.
off one point in the bloody in the fucking where was it? The nonsense of the like sightings and stuff like that. There was where was it? It was something about a Maine Coon.
I've got one of those.
Oh, I love a Maine Coon.
Give me a second. It was the lion thing I was reading.
Well,
Still laughing at the picture that's just a regular house cat.
Just a regular house cat.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. But... Oh, here we are. One of the most recent reports is that of a lion roaming around Essex during the summer of 2012.
Yeah.
She started in the caravan park. There were also reports of a lion roaring heard in the local area. Photographs taken by a witness. Police advised local residents to stay indoors, and a search was made in the local area, but nothing was found. Local zoos and visitor circuses were contacted, but none reported an escaped lion. And Mrs. Murphy later claimed the photograph was that of her pet Maine Coon cat, Teddy. So it probably was just a fucking big Maine Coon.
It's a lion.
I mean,
That's a fucking lion.
I mean, my cat's like a half-breed Maine Coon, so he's pretty big and fluffy, but he's not lion-sized.
No, here's a fairly big one that they've got. It's like, that's a big Maine Coon.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a lot of cat.
I don't
That's
know.
a killer cat.
I don't know if any of y'all remember visiting, but I don't know if y'all remember Sigma, but
Yeah.
Yes.
big fluffy one.
Yes.
He's not gotten any bigger, but
He's still floppy as hell.
he is.
I remember him staring at me from outside the glass. Like, let me in. I was like,
Judging you.
if I open the door, you're going to fuck off, so no.
I know how you cats work.
I know your mind games. that people
Speaking
can
of
just
cats,
see me
let's
yell
move
at a
away
cat.
from them.
Yes, one.
Deep,
Oh, a reverse segue.
a reverse segue. Deep in
Yeah.
an ancient woodland on the borders of London and Essex lies a pool of beauty, majesty, and ill repute.
I'm calling bullshit. There are no woods near London.
Epping Forest stands 19 kilometres long and 4 kilometres wide, and is indeed between London and Essex.
Did I just hear a forest man dunk on you? I did.
Oh god, no, the wood elves have got me good.
It's a popular green location for those wishing to escape the rigours of the city. Nestled within its bowels, corpses and corpses, and
Get ahead of ourselves, there, mate.
copses and glades are well over 100 lakes and ponds, thanks mostly to the rivers Lear and Redding that pass through it. While these add a touch of beauty to the area, none are as infamous as the killer suicide pool.
It's not a killer pool if it's suicide. No, it doesn't matter. Anyway.
I told you these were doozies. The pool lurks far in the depths of Epping Forest, which makes it sound like it's moving about.
Yeah.
I'm creeping around back there.
Well, no,
Look,
it's
if
lurking, I
you
suppose
turn up,
it's
if you
staying
go to
in
the
the same
woods looking
place.
for the suicide pool and you find like 100 of them, it's like, this one will do.
it could be any one of these. How will I ever find?
I'll tell you how you'll find out, Tom.
I'm not gonna. No one's gonna fucking signpost to be like, this one's the suicide pond.
Body just floating in it.
Body of a clown.
You just get to it. There's a big sign saying "Not the suicide pond." Just to try and fake people out.
Ugh.
Anchors.
This pool,
List of things is like anchors one per person.
this pool lurks deep in Epping Forest, luring unwary visitors in with its quaint charms and sensual mannerisms. Also, it can drown you in its 10-foot depths.
It's not a foppish 18th century English gentleman. What the hell is that? What the hell is that description?
I'll tell you what that is, John. Kelpie.
Why, hello there, please.
I may or may not have
hither.
taken
Come
liberties.
hither, I can offer you
Okay, all right,
creams
that's
and
a
cakes.
matter. All right.
Creams and cakes in the lake. Come hither. Come hither, dear traveller.
Just a fucking lake with a top hat floating on it.
You would not You would not wish me to partake in tea on mine own. Please come hither and join me.
Please, it's Elevenses. To not sit down would be rude.
Oh, yes, it charms you into it so you can drown in its 10-foot depths.
Please, my father was suicide pool. Call me Sue.
Oh, speaking of dads, 300 years ago, a young couple, deeply in love, went on a stroll through the forest. The girl's father, displeased at her choice of suitor, followed them. Once by the pool, a confrontation occurred. The enraged father killed either his daughter or her boyfriend. It is disputed.
Even he is not sure.
He is not sure. And dumped their body in the pond.
What happened to the other person? Let us go.
Getting there.
Okay, the fuck?
Their other half, overcome with grief, committed suicide then and there. Thus, the pond was cursed, and strange occurrences began. I just got to take a second lest I start laughing.
I'd say being lobbed in a pond is a fairly unusual occurrence, but no, it's a big.
Oh, when close, visitors claim that visitors have claimed that the water turns a solid, dark, impenetrable black. Wildlife dies at its edges or drowns itself, apparently. Fish died in it, despite that no fish being present in it.
Okay.
And the ground around it becomes a barren and lifeless area.
No.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Sure that it's water.
It may be tar, we don't know.
It sounds
Just
like
a tar
cover-up
pit
for
in the
an
middle.
It sounds like a cover-up for an oil spill.
Passers-by
Damn,
speak
DP
of...
got to this pond as well.
Passers-by speak of the silence. We're there again. The silence, as I say, quite literally when everything around you goes completely quiet. Apparently the air gets heavy and people by the lake claim they're being watched or stalked, presumably by the pool.
Look, if I'm honest, being
Wait, stalked?
How can you get like followed by small bodies of water?
This body of water has more body parts than you'd expect.
I'll tell you what,
Legs.
Mikey. I'm feeling really unnerved. That Oxbow Lake's been looking me over the last half hour. What, that's not going to work.
You can see it licking its lips.
I know, like when you go alone and the like deafening silence and all that shit, you do just start to go crazy.
It's because usually when it happens, it means there's a predator nearby. So a lot of people who have had Bigfoot and like Wendigo encounters, for example, claim that the silence hits right before they see them. But we're not going to talk about Wendigos and Bigfoots.
No.
We're talking about some water.
Indeed. The silence would only break once they'd left the area. Then the bodies appeared. In 1880,
Did they hit the floor?
More the water. I mean, it's an impenetrable dark mass. Maybe it's solid. In 18...
This isn't liquid at all.
We found the solution. It's Marmite. It's all Marmite.
God. In 1887, a woman allegedly killed herself by the pond. This was then swiftly followed by the young woman Emma Morgan, a local servant, and her child, who were found or thought to be murdered by its side. Lots of other suicides and murders have followed since. Some say you can still see the ghosts performing their last moments. There's been many books about haunted places and stuff discussing it. But on these occasions when people went there, nothing happened. Don't know if they got the right pool. This has led many to suspect that the pool's location is in fact unknown. Who would have thunk it? Indeed, local newspapers in 1959 decided to hold a competition to find it, but were unsuccessful. They did get a
Because
letter
all the entrants killed.
Yeah, no one ever came back.
I know it's just because I've got a sick sense of humor, but I would just take me and a friend and just take a picture of me with one of them in the pool in the background just floating.
Oh God!
Yeah,
that's next holiday, Soy.
That's our next Halloween special. We're going to actually confirm if this pool is legit or not.
We go round to all of these urban legends.
Oh God! Around UK and 80 legends or something like that. Let's see how much spirits we can piss off within a week time span.
Go back and we're just haunted to shit. Not by the spirits, just by what we saw in England. So we weren't successful in finding the pond, but they did get a letter from one woman who claimed she knew its location. But you should leave it alone, for it is dark, evil, and mysterious beyond measure. Yeah.
But the pool is dark and full of terror.
Killer ponds.
Walk my dog.
Just some fun facts about Epping to round that off. Epping has been home to a lot of murders all
that's a
over the
fun
woods.
fact.
So it may just be a thing that happens there. It's also been home to satanic rites by the Church of Innocents and possible human sacrifices in 1991.
Well, yeah, it's a church near London. What are you going to get?
So yeah.
I kind of
Church of
wish you'd
Innocents.
focused on those more than the fucking suicide ponds.
Maybe another time. Okay. Would you like the short one next, or the other medium length one? One of them's a page, one of them's a half page.
We'll take short.
Yeah, all right.
Do the short
we'll
one
finish
first.
with the longer one.
Cool. All right. Back to London again. All of these take place around London mainly. London's King's Cross, November 18th, 1987.
What's
Some
the cross
prick.
about?
Oh, you'll find out
I'm
why
going to
it
say
was crossed.
some prick.
I was gonna say some prick, and I think Tom's gonna regret this. Some prick with a match can't wait till he's outside to have a cig. He lights up, drops the match, and condemns 31 people to an agonizing death. Back in 1987, the escalators that worked on the underground were made of wood. And particularly greasy.
Wooden gears, yeah.
Yep. And what happens when grease and wood are exposed to fire? They set on fire.
How's the timber expert in the room? Bad.
Very bad.
More fire.
The horrifying fire that took hold on the escalator, real bad. Melted a lot of stuff, collapsed the floor, and is thought to have been the reason for a haunting. Dun, 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 dun. Now, this
fiery
haunting is an entity known as the Crying Girl.
Okay.
It is said that traumatic deaths spawn ghosts, and this fire burned hot and fast.
Not gonna lie, I could have told you that one.
The Crying Girl has been spotted on many occasions, face in hands and sobbing uncontrollably. In 1998, a man who tried to console her passed right through her. Many others claim that they can smell smoke and burning when descending the escalators, which is a common thing with big
That's just London.
accidents stuff. Could just be London, could be a stroke.
Yeah, that's
Just the smog of the city.
could
other
be
times-
could be all three.
Could be all three. Other times they witnessed the woman screaming with outstretched arms. So if you're ever on London's empty subways at night and hear crying echoing around you, know that you are not alone.
Huh.
It's a
A
quick short one.
comforting thought.
Very comforting thought, especially
doesn't
when
make-
they're crying and screaming.
Is it comforting?
Yeah.
You can decide.
I was gonna say when you said you're not alone, I'm like, well, that doesn't fucking make it better.
Well, I mean, it avoids crippling loneliness. That's something.
All right,
Uh,
let us do
yeah.
the final one.
Don't be lonely. There are ghosts here.
Okay, last one. Going to London again. December 27th, 1981. Hackney, London, England, the UK. Four
Yes.
boys were out for a stroll in Hackney. Apparently Hackney
The
has
boys.
marshes. Four boys were out for a stroll in Hackney marshes when they found a set of strange animal tracks. Moments later, without warning, and I quote here, a giant, great, growling, hairy thing reared up on its hind legs and attacked.
This is just the
This-
beast of Boglin Moor
Mother?
again.
The beast of Boglin Moor! No, Tom. This is the beast of Hackney Marshes.
I swear to God, if it's another fucking large cat, I'm gonna leave.
Minutes later, the boys were rambling to a police officer who may not have believed a 7-foot beast would be prowling the area, if not for events of December 5th. On December 5th, 2 bear carcasses had been found beheaded in the River Lear. Yes, that river. The same one with the pool.
Oh,
Bear
That goes into
carcasses.
the-
Bear carcasses. No one knows how they
bear
got there.
carcasses.
Who the
Bear
fuck's dumping
carcasses.
bear carcasses?
Bear carcasses.
Bear
Stop saying
carcasses.
bear carcasses.
Bear carcasses.
Something about the phrase bear carcasses is, I don't know,
Also, this is weirdly
phonetically
on,
pleasing.
also, this is weirdly on point. Anyway, continue.
There are, after all, no bears in the UK. None at all, not even in captivity.
No,
Can
I
confirm.
refuse
Refuse to
no.
believe.
Well, no, I've been in certain clubs.
Zoos lie.
The police officer organized. The police officer organized the search.
I'm too funny to live. Anyway.
The police officer organized a search with 50 policemen, army marksmen, 20 dog handlers, and a helicopter, and searched the marshes for a few days.
Did the
But
dog
found
handlers have
nothing.
dogs?
They found nothing. Perhaps it was a hoax. It would be. if not for the year 2012.
All right.
Just gonna get a
yeah, the
picture.
year we should have died.
Feeling like we're running up to 2 more bear carcasses.
Whoa.
Yeah, wasn't it like May 23rd, 2012 when everything's supposed to go to shit?
This picture was taken by a local student named Helen Murray. What do you think that is?
It looks like,
Looks like a
tiny.
beanbag.
Well,
caught
I'm
in the
gonna say,
branches.
yeah, I'm with Tom. It looks like a bin bag in a tree.
That looks like every Bigfoot sighting ever.
Or
in
like
the
a-
worst sense of the world because I can't tell what I'm looking at.
Well,
Wait, I take it back. You know what it looks like? To me, I can see a thing of a man, like a perfect 90 degrees bent over.
The man who's got his
So I think
he's
grainy
bending over to pick it
Bigfoot.
up.
I think grainy Bigfoot. Tom thinks bin bag.
And it-
Other Tom thinks dogging.
well,
It's a man. It's a man at a perfect 90 degrees in a fucking trench coat out dogging.
there is certainly dogs. It turns out it may actually have been a particularly large dog. Helen, though, wasn't convinced. Other sightings include 2 fishermen back in 2008 who said they saw a man hunched over a bit like a bear. But
Holy
can't
shit,
be
it is a
related.
man hunched over dogging!
It's a 90-degree person. That's all it is.
It seems the beast is quite elusive. But one thing is for sure, Hackney definitely has marshes.
Well, I'm glad we can agree on that.
Wait, is that the story? Is that it? Or
That's I've got no way to round that off.
Fucking Christ. I don't even, that picture's so small, I can barely tell what it is.
it's bad that the best quality I got of all the 3, because you see it in Discord, then you click on it to actually get the picture, and then it's like open original.
But then it's
And the best resolution I got
It's
was the
so
first
small.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is. As I've opened it up, that is a man stood at 90 degrees.
Yep.
This is a man.
these cryptids have just been cats and men.
Don't say that the UK doesn't have good urban legends with absolutely no information on them.
Well, then.
Doubt.
John, would you like to ruin our lives?
Lower the
Yeah,
tone
let's
from
get
what
dark,
we've
kiddies.
said.
I'll turn my lights off.
Good. Right. I have 2 interesting stories which are... I'm not saying the rest of these aren't true in this world, but these are categorically true. These are things that happened and were documented and are factual.
You were there.
It's a strange
Yes.
coincidence. Just before you go on, I've just got an email from Steam saying Little Nightmares is on sale.
Ignore what I'm doing in the camera. Anyway.
Oh, John, why are you nude and with a kukri? What are you doing?
Karambit. No, it's...
Stop satanicking in front of me.
Bugger off.
You're trying to dig
Anyway.
the splinters out
Say-
again.
Oh,
Yes.
I did have some facts for Hackney Marshes while he pulls that splinter out.
Oh.
Apparently, Hackney Swat Marshes is thought to be home to crocodiles. There's also supposed to be a 4-foot-tall saber-toothed tiger, and then it may have been used to
wait a
hold
minute.
various. It
Is
may
that-
have been used.
Is that the beast of Boglin Moor, the
Wait
saber-toothed
a minute.
tiger?
But did you say boggling?
Boggling more.
The beast where all the Boglins come from, yeah.
Tom, you're blocking the best thing. It also may have been used to hold various sex cult meetings.
Every forest is used for sex cults. That's how it is.
It is a man dogging!
Oh,
Tell you what,
That is-
with all the dogging that's been
Oh,
going
damn.
on in these marshes, it's a good job they brought a bunch of dog handlers on the search.
yeah, they didn't mention bringing any dogs, but I assume they did.
I
Just the
hope
dog
so.
handlers.
Yeah,
The dogs were left in the pound.
You know, to think like a dog. Come here. Anyway,
Handlers get bags like who let the dogs out.
my story is going to take place in Hokkaido, Japan,
Oh,
in the winter,
Ah.
which it actually takes place over a century ago now. It takes place across November, late November to like mid-December of 1915.
mid-war.
Well, yeah, pretty much, yeah. Started for the
Japan
Japanese,
weren't in
who
that
actually
one,
were on
were
our
they?
side in that one.
Japan
were.
weren't in that one.
yeah, they were.
Yeah,
they
they
were on
were.
our
Were
side.
they?
Yeah, they brought up the bloody fleet round to the Mediterranean.
Oh, yeah. That was
Yeah.
before they went into Imperial mode.
Oh, yeah.
Imperial mode, activate!
Well, they kind of had already activated, but because there was the Russo-Japanese War. That one. Anyway, this is Hokkaido in winter, basically. This picture here. It is cold as hell.
Snowy.
It is beautiful,
Pretty.
but it is cold and unforgiving. So it's the people there are a lot more, I think, less culturally inclined than most of mainland Japan, because it's more about just survival, get through the winter,
Bit
and
like
do anything else in
Siberia.
the summer. Yeah, a bit like that. And because it was 1915, I'm going to talk about a place called Sankabetsu, which is in this part of where is it? No, not you. There you are. Which is in this part of Hokkaido.
For those that don't know, if you know like a vague map of Japan, Hokkaido is in like
it's
the northern island.
It's
part.
the big northern
Northern
island,
Island,
yes.
Before you get to what's it called? The bit that they fought Russia over.
That's Sakhalin, but yeah, kind of above that. Yeah, this takes place in Rumoi, which is the western coast of Hokkaido.
Is that blue outline spot?
Yes, that's a blue outline spot on the map, which the viewers should be looking at right now. I'm sorry, Spotify.
Look
and
at
IT
it!
users. Look at it! Okay. Anyway, anyway.
We can also put these pictures on the Fact vs. Fiction Twitter.
Which is a thing
You
now.
can. That's gonna
Which you
make
guys
Twitter
should
to look
already
at.
know by the time this comes out.
I swear other people older than me will post on it. Don't make me look like a tyrant, please.
And
Get that crown off you, you Burger King bastard.
what I'm going to talk about is basically the worst animal attack in Japanese history, still to date.
I thought you were just going to say the worst animal.
The worst animal.
Oh, that little shit!
Fucking cuffed up a hairball on my bed.
No, he didn't. He pissed on an orphan. Anyway, no, that's
He pissed in an orphan.
Jesus. He's no monster. Anyway, but yes, the culprit in this case was a rather large Asuri brown bear, which are really massive creatures. Because get a picture of one up here. There's a picture of a slightly more menacing. That's a picture of a menacing one, and here is a picture of a far more fun one. He's just living life. He's happy.
Aww.
Anyway,
It looks like he's
Giving us
whistling.
away.
whistle while you work. Anyway,
Giving his foot a little stretch.
But they can grow to massive sizes because the biggest Asuri brown bear that's ever been found is basically it's only slightly smaller than the biggest Kodiak bear ever found.
Oh shit.
So they tend to be a bit smaller, but they can grow massive in the right conditions.
Yeah. How big's a Kodiak bear for reference?
Oh Kodiak bears, they can get like I think the biggest one they found was like fucking 10 meters
Was
tall if it stood upright.
Was
No,
the-
10 foot tall. Jesus Christ, that's a big bear.
That's a big bear, John. Fucking hell.
And about,
What was
over,
the-
over 600 kilograms?
What was this type of bear that you just showed?
Asuri.
Asuri.
USSUURI brown bear.
Oh, they're endangered.
Probably by the
I
Japanese.
think they're least concerned at the moment, actually. Let's have a look. Yeah, least concerned. There's Usuri black bears as well, which just look hilarious. Honestly, I love them. But it can be quite confusing because they can sometimes called black grizzlies, Usuri brown bears. I'll show you a picture of an Usuri black bear because they look like the fluffiest bastards in the universe. There you go. Look at that.
Oh,
Look at that thing.
Oh my god, that's a
he's
chunky
adorable.
fellow.
And they all
You know,
look
like when you
that.
see
They
an
all got
orangutan
like
and it's got like the bits at the
Yes.
side of its face?
Yes.
And it's like it's not just one. All the black bears look like that. Oh, it told me my files are too powerful, so I can't send that.
Your
Picture.
files are too
Your
powerful.
files are
Apparently
too
so.
powerful.
Anyway,
These bears are too damn powerful.
Discord, it's powered by memes.
Yeah. Basically, what happened was in mid-November in 1915, in outskirts of Sankabetsu, which was a very recently settled place. I don't know the exact date of when it was settled, but this was when pretty much most Japanese were moving on to the far parts of Hokkaido. So it wasn't uncommon to see wild animals very, very close to civilization in a place like this. So these are just like typical wooden kind of huts, essentially, at this point. Anyway, but a very large Asuri brown bear appeared at the Akida family's house in Sankabetsu, Rukus and Sawa. I'm just going to call it Sankabetsu for now.
Yeah.
That's in that blue zone I showed you, it's about 11 kilometers inland from the coast. So it's fairly close to the coast. The massive bear kind of panicked the family horse, which freaked out quite a bit. But the family left the bear alone because it just literally took some corn, ate some corn, and left.
That's like the smart thing to do, presumably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like it wasn't uncommon for bears to come out, like bears and stuff to come this close to the houses and stuff like that. It's a particularly large one. By the sound of things, it probably wasn't. It was out of hibernation, which is the issue. So it probably.
Yeah, but by that time they normally like November they have gone.
This is mid-November.
Well, this one was just missing some corn, so.
Yeah.
I needed to
to my
plug its anus
stockpile.
up somewhere.
Got to bung myself up for winter.
And they thought the family thought that was the end of it. But then on November 20th, the bear reappeared.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just out of the forest, mate. You saw the you saw
You'd
the
think
picture
you'd
of
see
this.
them coming.
You never see it coming.
Or if
No,
it's
it's
if it's snowing, then like you
That's the
hide
thing.
in the
If it was
snowfall.
like heavy
and
snowfall, like blizzard levels.
Well, that's the thing. Well, bears are
Appears
stealthy,
like
aren't they? That's the
Michael
most worrying
Myers
thing.
in
For an
Halloween.
animal so big and heavy, they are
Yep.
fucking stealthy.
Also, one of the few animals, one of the few mammals like humans that actually walk on the flat of their foot, rather than other creatures that canines that walk
Yeah,
on the
fuck
pads, and there's horses who walk on the toes like the fucking
Yeah.
freaks they are. Anyway.
Horsey.
Ungulates. No, it's fine. It's fine. Anyway, right. Anyway, but basically, what the head of the Aikita family, doesn't list his name here, but he was really worried about his horse because obviously that's a large chunk of their wealth and just ability to actually function in the wild. God.
You need work animals for that.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
Yep.
Yeah, based on the
Yeah.
photo of this place you sent through, I'd imagine you also need that for travel if it's quite a remote place.
This is a typical. I'm going to send you a typical picture of a inside of a house at the time. Around it.
Oh shit.
That
Yeah.
is
Oh,
barren.
is a very
That was much simpler than I was
That's actually a reproduction of one of the family houses that we'll come into this later. Anyway, the head of the Aikita family asked his second son Kamataro to go and actually find some help, and Kamataro went and between his village and the neighbouring village, doesn't list the name, he found 2 Matagi. Now Matagi are interesting because they're a particular they are like a particular culture of Japanese who they are traditional winter hunters. These guys specialize in hunting in winter. They specialize in hunting bear and all winter animals. They are perfect for this job. They actually they're very similar to the Ainu culture up there.
Okay.
It's like a mix between Japanese and that, where it's there's almost a bit of almost bear worship in there.
Oh.
And a full belief in mountain gods and certain laws around them. So it's a way of life. So these are probably the best people you could possibly get to hunt a bear.
He's gone to find Batman, and he's found 2 of them.
Yes, literally. And so the Matagi, the elder of the Aikita family, and Kamataro, they staked out the house, worrying that the bear would come back. 'Cause it's come back twice now. It's probably going to come back.
Did they bring the horse inside?
I don't think they really could. That's the thing. I think it's like some sort of stable thing. But obviously, it's a bear. It can just,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big bloody bear.
Yeah.
See,
Stop it.
John
Anyway,
posted this picture of this ye old Japanese house, and while they have more shit in them, they didn't get any bigger.
No, that's the thing. Anyway, as they staked this out in the horrible snow winter, this is November 30th, pretty much again to the height of winter, the bear reappeared again. And they shot at it. One of the Matagi hit it, but they failed to kill it. And it fled off into the forest. The next morning, they followed the bear's footprints which led towards Mount Onishika.
That sounds like a bad idea.
Yeah, they did find some bloodstains along the trail, but they were forced to turn back because of a giant snowstorm that basically formed.
Yeah.
They rested easy, thinking, okay, we've scared it off, we've hurt it, it's injured, it's probably most likely not going to. It's either it might die. I mean, it probably won't because it's a bear. But either way, it should fear humans, and it won't come to go get corn from settlements or anything like that. Now we should be fine.
I'm guessing the opposite happens.
I've got a feeling that this bear really loves corn.
Yeah, I think these made it angry.
And also possibly revenge.
I'm going to say right now that this story is basically part of the reason why bears are often seen as man-eaters in Japanese cultures.
It's a bad time to start singing that song about he's a man-eater.
No, but here we go. Like during the first half of the 20th century, 141 people were killed in bear attacks in Hokkaido, so between 1900 and 1950.
On just that island alone?
Yes, with a further 300 injuries.
Damn.
And since 1962, 86 attacks and 33 deaths have been recorded.
So it's
it's been
going on.
Yeah, because they're big bears. That's the thing. You don't fuck with them. Anyway,
if you run downhill, you'll be fine.
Yep.
The problem with Hokkaido is flat.
I was wrong. Anyway, but yeah. Anyway, cut to December 9th, so over a week
So they
later.
popped over a week. I'm assuming the hunters have gone?
The Mitagi have gone. They thought they'd done their job. The Akita family think everything's fine. This is 10:30 a.m. because for some reason the Japanese were meticulous at keeping records of all this. This is one of the most well-reported animal attacks ever. I don't know why.
That's just the Japanese, isn't it?
Yeah,
Just
I think it is.
politely
I
ask
think
the bear to stop while they look at their watch.
No, but 10:30
Hang on, I
a.m.
need to write this down.
on December the 9th,
Savage is my
1915,
throat at 10:30.
the bear basically entered the home of the Ota family, and that picture
So that's
I sent
someone
you is
next door.
that's one of
neighbouring.
the neighbouring houses.
So,
Yeah.
so when you say enter,
He basically broke through the window. Just smashed straight through the window. And
Great image of a
this-
bear throwing a brick.
it looks around for his spare key and then just gets a rock.
I've seen a GIF going around recently of a bear kicking down someone's front door and walking into their home.
I think
So
I've
I
seen
can-
that, yeah.
Bear in the big blue house, just kicking the
I
front
think
door.
it's not the bear in the big blue house.
Well, he's in the house now. Anyway,
It's pretty cold, he might be blue.
but what happened was there was a woman inside named Abe Mayu who was basically babysitting an infant while her husband worked out on the farm. The bear attacked them, just straight up went for them, and killed the child by biting it. And the Mayu obviously tried to defend herself, and the child by just attacking it and throwing firewood at it and everything. Didn't work. She got grabbed and dragged off into the forest. The husband returned home to basically wife missing, kid dead,
And nobody heard that.
I think everyone was
How
out
did
at
they
work.
know it was at 10?
I don't know. I'm not questioning this. I'm assuming there was some sort of thing. I assume maybe someone heard it or something. But husband returned home anyway.
You said this was what, 1980...
1915.
1915, sorry.
Yeah.
I wonder if post-mortem was good enough, because did it leave the baby body there? The baby's body?
Yeah.
Maybe they
it was-
post-mortem the body.
The house was
The
described
issue
as
is
akin to a
there
slaughterhouse,
it's cold.
because there was just blood everywhere and his wife was
Yeah.
missing.
I say the issue there is whether it's like freezing outside as well, and if it's broken in,
There
that
is that.
body's going to be experiencing
Yeah.
some levels of refrigeration.
But blood puddled all over the farmhouse floor. That was December 9th. December
quite-
10th. Mhm.
I was going to say, it's quite bad when... Because I've looked into some other animal attacks before, like there's a very famous one about a man-eating tiger in India, where the
Champa-what?
man-eating... Maybe. But a guy who shot the tiger, or it might have been in Russia or India, I can't remember. A guy shot a tiger or took its kill, and then the tiger literally hunted him and toyed with him for days. But like, it's a thing where animals eat, when they eat humans, they get a taste for it.
Yeah, I think you're talking about the Markov incident,
Yes,
where there's
that's
basically
it.
one in Russia where a man who was a poacher went out in... He was so poor he went out in Wellington boots, because it was that, even though it was that fucking cold in the middle of Siberia. Well, it wasn't Siberia, it was like the bit that was basically connected to China almost, that bit right down.
Yeah.
Anyway, and he shot at a tiger and stole part of its kill and walked home. The tiger got pissed off at this and went back to his house, destroyed everything with his senton, and then waited on his front porch for him to get home.
Yeah.
And then killed him
And
then.
he tried to get help from like two other people before then, and they were just like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Sorry,
and
mate.
there was another one where the same tiger basically went for another poacher, and he actually dragged his mattress out of his house and sat on the mattress waiting for him to get back.
Yep.
And then killed him. And then-
Yeah.
That was a bastard of a tiger. And they were like, it's the first time we've actually seen tigers actually properly exhibit revenge.
Yep.
And like, oh, great. Anyway, December the 10th. early in the morning, there was a big search party comprising 30 men were organised to capture the brown bear and recover the remains of Mai. Also, 2 men, Saito Ishiguro and Miyoki Yasutaro, left the village on certain errands. We'll get to them; they're important later on. They entered the forest, which has got to be terrifying. When there's literally a man-eating bear out there, which is bigger than you and has already taken a bullet. But they only literally, I think they got 150 meters into the forest before one of them saw the animal. So it wasn't far away from the village.
Yeah, that's.
They fired 5 shots at it. Only one of them hit it, which just basically made it retreat again. And they searched the area and found a patch of dried blood. Moving this dried blood, they found Mayu's corpse buried at the base of a fir tree. She had been partially eaten. Only her head and legs remained.
Oh, God.
Everything else gone. Yeah.
Oh.
Now, obviously, the villagers are panicking because they believe there's a big bear out there who's been shot twice and still doesn't seem to have died.
And is now just eating
they now
people.
believe he's got a taste for human flesh.
This is giving me Red Dead Redemption bear hunting flashbacks.
Yeah, definitely should. But they basically believed that they would come back to the scene of the crime. It will come back to the Ota farm.
Bears will come back to the scene of the crime.
No, because they basically they thought that it would come back for whatever food it might have
it knows
left,
there's food's there. It's going to come back.
And they basically, a lot of villagers gathered at the Ota farm with guns the following night, and the bear once again did reappear that night. And the villagers panicked. In the entire confusion, despite there being multiple dozens of people there, only one man actually shot at the bear, and basically it kind of fled off, luckily. But because it appeared at 8 o'clock that night, which you have to remember, 8 o'clock in Hokkaido, darkness. You're not. Yeah, it's not light at all. It's completely pitch black. But the thing is, there was at this time there was a corps of 50 guardsmen that was there. They were posted 300 meters away at the neighbouring Miyoki house. They hearing the shots. The reason they went out actually around the place was because that was the exact time they were eating their dinner. It was problematic. But hearing this, they all, I think, basically 49 of them basically grabbed their rifles and ran towards the house, by which time the bear had vanished into the woods, gone again, like a demon of the night. But yeah, they literally, because a lot of people had actually been, a number of families had sought refuge at the house of Miyoki Yasutaro, who, if you remember, was one of the men who left the village on an errand.
Yeah.
Because they were just thought, well, safety numbers, we all hide in the house to get all 5. And at which point, all 49 of these guards have chasing the bear into the woods, thinking they're fairly certain they caught the right trail, and they were following the bear's trail to eventually kill it. They left one man at the house called Odu.
They're on the trail of the other guys, aren't they?
They think they're on the trail of the bear. No, anyway, this is a bit past 8 o'clock. Yasutaro's wife Yayo is basically leading the women in preparing a late night meal, because obviously the soldiers are eating now, they're eating as well. The bear the first time the bear broke into the first house, he broke through the wall. This time
this time goes through the window.
This time goes straight through the window into the house, and in the chaos of, there's numerous families in here, there's quite a few people in here, and in the chaos, the cooking pot on the hearth was overturned, doused in the flames, and the oil lamp was knocked over. The house had plunged into total darkness.
No.
Oh, God.
With the mother of all bears inside. Basically, what happened there was the Yayo just thought, okay, I need to get my kids out, because there were several of it. She had, I think, 4 kids, and all of which were in this house. There was other members of the household too. She ran away. Basically, she tried to run for it with her youngest child on her back in a kind of some sling thing. But unfortunately, she was tripped by another one of her children who was naturally scared and just grabbed up his mum. The bear did attack her and bit the child on her back, who did survive, but basically when the bear attacked her, the lone guard Odo basically started screaming, shout at the bear. I don't think he had his gun ready, but basically just threw stuff at it and just distracted the hell out of it. So Yayo could flee basically with her kids as this bear turned to face him. He tried his best to hide behind furniture and the like, but he did get basically clawed in the back. He does survive this, but he did manage to basically then basically but because obviously he was mauled, he was kind of out of the game, and the bear then turned on even more people in the house and attacked 2 young boys, one of which was her third son, Yayo's third son, who died, and another boy from the I believe the Saito family who was killed, and a third was bitten but survived. And this harem, it cornered one of the women. Where the fuck is it? Saito Ishigoro's pregnant wife, who Saito Ishigoro's also left he was this other guy who left on errand. And basically, other people heard that she was basically begging, look, don't just like bite me in the head, please. Don't leave my stomach alone, because she was scared she was pregnant. And the very weird thing is, the bear did. The later testimony basically, because other villagers heard the attack and heard her begging. Anyway, the weird thing is, she did die, but the bear left her chest completely untouched. So it kind of started introducing this whole element of like this weird kind of spiritual, this is more than just a bear thing element here. Because the people thought it would, it actually listened and understood. But unfortunately, her baby did die because it was undeveloped.
Yeah.
What can you do? But one of those, that was the most horrific thing for this. Anyway, the guardsmen at this point who tracked the bear downriver realized that they weren't on a trail, and they rushed back to the settlement, meeting Yayo, who had managed to escape with her children on the way back. She's seriously injured because she's been clawed and bitten, and the child on the back's not doing well. And they basically said, it's at the Miyoki family house. It's killing everyone. They raced there to rescue any survivors. They got there. Obviously, it's pitch black still in the inside of the house, but they can hear it's in there. And, well, I wouldn't want to be the first one to go inside. To be honest, I can't blame them for this. No. And at which point, one of the guardsmen suggested we could just burn down the house with it inside. Yaya forbade this because she thought there might still be people in there. There might still be some. She doesn't know all the children got out, kind of thing. Well, one of them didn't, unfortunately. And then the guards said, okay, we'll split into 2 groups. We'll put 10 men with guns at the front door, and everyone go around to the back of the house, and everyone's just start shouting and banging on to just basically scare out the front door. Not an awful plan, considering.
Does the bear come through the wall?
There aren't many walls for it left to come through.
The plan worked. The bear ran right out the front door, but because the waiting gunmen had bunched together and blocked each other's lines of sight, most guns misfired, and the bear escaped, not being hit at all.
Jesus.
At this point, I believe it's technically 5 or 6 people have been killed.
I know, the bear attack and stuff is horrific and everything, but there is also some level of ineptitude.
Yeah.
Granted, I know it's because of panic, but at the same time, this bear's run off 3 times now.
Yes, it is. It was a monster of a brown bear, of a Missouri brown bear.
It's been shot
massive. Yeah, it has been shot twice. And there's a thing going on now, because what happened next is they then basically set torches and went to the house and actually saw the results of the attack and how many people were. Obviously, there's some people still alive. Like Odo managed to survive fine. He got out of that somehow, despite his stupidity/bravery. Good on him. Most after that, basically, all the village people basically gathered in the school because they thought, well, screw it, might as well stay everyone together rather than just scattered across the village. And
I'm still trying to picture what the fuck a bear coming through the window must be one of the most terrifying things.
That's the thing, because it preys on the security you've got in your house. You feel so secure, so safe, and it's just got in seconds.
It's almost worse coming through the window than just the wall.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway, it's pretty bad. So in 2 days, 6 people had lost their lives. One of them, who was pregnant. And it does say after the incident, only veterans of the Russo-Japanese War remained at the post, because a lot of the other guardsmen were just terrified.
Yeah, they went, fuck it.
Yeah. So you only got veterans of one of the nastiest fucking short battles around. And basically, Saito Ishiguro, who was unaware that
he was one of the blokes that went out.
Yeah, unaware that if one of his sons and his pregnant wife had died, he'd gone off to file a report with authorities and district police before returning and lodging at a particular hotel. Like a hotel in Tamakumai, which is like the big place, I think a larger town nearby. Anyway, Miyoke Yasutaro, whose wife was Yayo, who's the one who actually got out, and I think only one of their children died, and the younger son was bitten really badly.
Mm-hmm. That was the one she carried out, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was carried out on the back. Yeah. Anyway, he heard that a man named Yamamoto Haikichi was nearby, and he is an interesting man because he is an expert bear hunter. This man has probably killed upwards of 250 bears at this point in his life. I'll show you a picture.
That's a lot of bears.
This is the Batman of Batman.
Yeah, this is probably the only known. I think this is the only known picture of him.
Oh wow.
Yeah, fantastic shot with a gun. He went and talked to him about this. Now Yamamoto said, "I know this bear. He's killed 3 people before.
Oh,
his name is Kesegake, which means what the fuck is it?
Are we about to get a showdown?
The diagonal slash from the shoulder.
It's what he did to Odo.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
He basically been blamed for the Morlands and deaths of 3 women before. And he's basically, Miyoki was begging Yamamoto Haikichi's for help. Unfortunately, him being the washed-up protagonist kind of thing of this other thing, he'd now pawned his gun for money to buy alcohol with. So he was a drunken mess.
Damn it, Naruto!
Because he was, bear hunting obviously doesn't get you much money. So he said, no, I can't help you. I can't help you. Okay. And basically he unable to return home, I assume because of weather or just because of issues. Yasutaro staying in Onoshika, which is the town he was staying in. That was the end of December 10th. This goes on to December 14th. So, anyway, what happened on December 11th was Miyoki Yasutaro and Saito Ishiguro returned to Sankebetsu and found out what happened to their respective families, which is obviously horrifying. But they pieced together the story of actually what happened, and a group of men, including these 2, were formed to kill the bear. Believing that the bear would reappear, they decided to wait for the bear at Miyoki's residence. The night passed with no attack. Didn't come. Nothing happened. Anyway, December 12th. The news of the bear's appearance in Sankebetsu, because at this point it's spread like wildfire, the story of this killer bear, which has killed 6 and has probably killed 3 before.
Yeah.
He reached the it's actually technically the count is 7 because obviously the poor child. Anyway, we reached the Hokkaido government office, and under the leadership of the Haboru branch police station, a sniper team was organised.
Oh.
Guns and volunteers of the team were gathered from nearby towns, and after getting permission from the Imperial Forestry Agency, the sniper team went to Sankebetsu this evening. Can you guess who one of the snipers is?
Is it Yamamoto?
Yamamoto Haikichi. Yes. Yeah. They gave him a gun.
Nice.
This is your chance, Yamamoto. Take vengeance on the bear.
Yeah. But yeah. So, but again, that particular evening of December 12th, it did not appear. The brown bear did not appear. Kisegake did not appear. And they basically the team decided they need to exterminate the bear, even if they had to use every resource. So they figured that
necessary.
Yeah, literally. They figured that the bear is probably going to try and grab some of the bodies of the people it killed. Because you have to remember, it didn't take anyone from this house; it just ran. But by that point, the people had already mourned the dead and moved the bodies out of the Miyoki household. But the plan was proposed to basically attempt to lure the bear out with the corpse of a victim. Now, obviously, this plan was condemned by almost everyone in the village, especially Ota, Saito, and Mayoko families, because obviously those are their loved ones.
Yeah, I can see why that might get backlash.
Hey, can we use your family as bait? No. That's,
Even
a
if
no
they're
though,
dead,
right
still
there.
no.
Yeah, but basically, eventually, they convinced them everyone it was be the best course of the future. So they put into place and put some of the bodies back in the house. Once again, the bear the bear did not appear. Kisagake did not appear. Anyway, but there we go. And yeah, here we are. And oh wait, no, actually, here we go. No, it did appear. Sorry, he did appear. The strategy was executed, but this is when you start to think maybe this bear is smarter than I thought. 6-member sniper team with Yamamoto Haikichi waited inside the house, but the bear walked up to the house, stopped at the door, appeared to check inside, and then went straight back to the forest.
Probably sniffed.
Yeah, the bear did not appear again that night, so the plan was ultimately a failure.
Were they in that house?
They were in that house waiting for it to come in to get the rest of the bodies. Which you would have thought.
They'd wait outside the house or somewhere else.
I'd rather be in the house than out of it.
Personally, I thought if they were snipers, I thought they'd have taken shots while it. But then again, you might have scared it off.
You have to remember, it's pitch black in
That is
winter
also
Hokkaido. It is, horrific. Anyway, at dawn, a search team went out and they found out that the Ota house, the one that first was attacked, had been completely ransacked by the bear, by Kisagake. And they looked and they basically searched around, and they found out that it raided their winter stores, and it seems that it raided the winter's at least 8 other houses that night.
Shit.
No one in them because they'd all gathered in the schoolhouse out of
But
it.
nobody heard it.
It probably was the outskirts of the town. That's the thing, and bears can be stealthy at the best of bloody times.
Blizzards are loud as well.
Yeah, that is
true,
that.
yeah.
And the bear damaged at least 8 houses, but so far no one could find it. And at this point, they got together enough guards, enough people with rifles went to hunt, and the sniper team. There were 60 armed men looking for this bear. And they decided they should go hunt in the surrounding mountains. And the police captain, Chief Inspector Suga, who was basically... he was the guy who came along with the sniper team as well, to basically survey and keep an eye on things. Because obviously, I guess you don't just send snipers off on their own, which is fair.
They need a handle.
They think he now that Kisagaki was overreaching a bit, and they think that he stretched his territory downstream a bit, just from where the house were ransacked. The police captain Suga recognised the situation getting worse and worse and worse. He made it doesn't describe much of this. He made an ice bridge as a line of defence, then arranged snipers and guards on it. I assume it's a bridge across a river or something like that.
Presumably.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess if they make an ice bridge and all the other ice is smashed, and the bear comes up river, you'd hear it coming.
I think that's the thing. And so the snipers and the guards were posted on this bridge.
Or does the bear have to
then
cross the river, and so they use it as a choke point?
I think that's the idea. I'm not sure. I assume that's the idea.
But bears can swim.
I know, quite well.
Very well. But I guess it'd be loud. Anyway, the night is December 13th. A young guard posted on the bridge spotted movement in the trees. And there was some sort of, the kind of thing where you see a shadow that's slightly darker than everything else around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And naturally he's like, well, that might be the bear, but at the same point, it could just be a crazy hunter. So we need to actually give some sort of signal to make sure it's actually a person. So the police captain Suga kind of shout out a challenge in that general direction. No response. Nothing. They then opened fire upon the shadow. But again, the bear escaped.
How do you escape the rifle fire of 60 armed men?
I think only a couple of them were on this bit of the bridge,
Okay.
but still. Although,
Because I was imagining British gun line from Napoleonic Wars.
yeah,
Yet the bear's just dodging around on its hind legs.
yeah, but yeah,
Bear's actually just
Kisagaki
throwing
had escaped.
The bear's actually just throwing a rock as a decoy.
But the following morning, December 14th, they
Did they find
found
the houses have been ransacked?
no, they found bloodstains along the opposite bank.
Oh,
So the
yes.
bear had once again been hit. So this is, I think, 3 times it's been shot now. Anyway,
Something
doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
the bear's on
It's-
its third
Yeah,
bullet.
this is
Yes.
a resilient bear.
At this point, Yamamoto Heikichi had decided enough was enough.
Yes.
We can't hunt it with this many men. We're making too much noise. We can't do anything. So he took himself and 2 other hunters and set off to find Kisagaki. He took him all day, but he eventually successfully tracked his quarry. He found it asleep beneath a Japanese oak tree. He was able to get close to within 20 yards of this bear, which I would not want to.
Jesus Christ.
And then shot it twice, once in the heart, once in the head. And finally, with that, the rampage of Kisagaki was over.
I was waiting for you to say the bear got up.
The killer always rises
And
for
then the
one
bear
final
shouted
kill.
counter and pulled out a shotgun. No, no.
I would like to fight back against the gunman.
They measured the bear. The bear he weighed 340 kilograms,
Ooh.
which is, if you're going to pounds, 750 pounds about,
Jesus Christ.
and was 2.7 meters tall if it stood on its hind legs, which
Fucking
is
hell.
8'10".
Something like that.
Yeah, no, it is. They did eventually. They
That
did
is
carry
big.
out massive bloody bear. A necropsy was carried out on the bear, and they found human parts in its stomach. They did the whole
Obviously,
Jaws thing.
yeah.
This is basically the story of Jaws, but on land with a bear.
Land Jaws. Or sea
they-
bear.
They did keep some of the skull and some of the fur of the bear were kept as like mementos, but no traces. But to this day, we seem to have disappeared. No traces of Kisagaki are left. The aftermath of what happened with the bear, Yayo, the woman who managed to save basic kids during it, received head wounds in the attack, made a full recovery, but her young son, who was carrying her back, Naoki Yumakichi, he died 3 years later from complications of the wounds, basically. So the bear technically got another victim.
Yeah.
Odo recovered from injury, went back to work, but then next spring he fell in the river and died.
Oh,
Odo, you clumsy fuck, but you were right for the meantime.
is this where
He
he
walked
wasn't-
over a thawing ice bridge.
The son of the village mayor at the time grew up to become a prolific bear hunter. He was 7 years old at the time. He swore an oath to kill 10 bears for every victim of the attack. I don't necessarily respect that, but he did. By the time he reached the age of 62, he had killed 102 bears. So if you count the 10,
Fucking
technically,
hell.
he did achieve that. Anyway, his son basically managed to kill a 500-kilogram bound bear who was nicknamed Taro, the North Sea. So he found an even bigger one. But Kisagaki still remains to this day the most deadly animal attack in Japan. And the thing about this is, basically after the attack, I talked about the village of Rokusen and Sankabetsu in Rokusen. Pretty much every villager left after that.
I'm not
And it
surprised.
turned into a ghost town. So not only did Kisagaki kill 10 people, he killed effectively an entire
A
village.
community, yeah.
Yeah. And that's the tale of Kisagaki. But yeah, it's they basically made a full record of all the stories, and there's a couple of things like this. Nowadays, they tend to they tend to be much more friendly with their like bear-human relations, and they've got signs like this up everywhere, like Bear Road.
Obviously,
which I
they've
find
got
quite cute.
diplomats and whatnot.
They've got bear diplomats.
Oh.
I've got one last short 5-minute, 10-minute story, which has got a bit of a more of an upper than just everyone died.
Let's end on a high note.
Okay.
I'm probably going to be. I've got a new mic, so I wonder how the quality is going to change between the first bit of the Halloween and the new bit.
It'll be spooky, just like Halloween.
Exactly.
Spooky change in audio quality.
Hello there.
Oh God!
General Kenobi?
Oh, did that go really?
General Kenobi.
Smelly boy.
Just going to put my sign up before we begin.
The senator. We are the big.
Beat to death them. Beat to death them.
All the things you could have picked. You picked fucking Backstroke at the West.
Yeah, of course. Because you guys were doing General Grievous thing. I was like, I'm going to one up this. I know the only thing that can.
Oh, I thought you were gonna. I really wanted you to just lean in and say all we wanted was a soup sauce.
It's just the Emperor sent us some big birds. But yes, dear viewers, this is of course listeners. Sorry,
You watching our sound.
YouTubers. Yeah, those fellows or ladies or persons of interest. I'm after you.
Individuals.
Anyway,
Those of you tuning in live on Halloween.
Oh,
yes,
that's right.
of course,
Coming at you
that's my
live.
point. All of this is recorded live on Halloween. That's how
Every
this
single
works.
part of it.
Even the bit that's going out on October 30th.
They don't know. They're not getting that bit.
What could be spookier than time travel?
I don't know, witches.
Oh yeah, that's
He's got you there.
pretty
The
spooky.
Portuguese.
The French-Portuguese alliance.
Entropy. Oh, it's breaking. I don't like it. No, it's fine.
The heat death of the universe.
That one's
Yeah.
actually pretty
That's pretty
terrifying.
spooky. Yeah.
Mascarpone.
Who put that mask on that
Anyway.
pony?
Wasn't
BoJack
him.
Horseman's taking a
Oops.
weird turn. Weirder turn.
Yeah, my second tale of the night is it starts out a little like well, dark / ominous, but it does have like it's got a weirdly happy ending in its own weird way.
It comes with a hand job.
No,
What?
ladies and gentlemen, you're
I
gonna.
just wanted to make a happy ending joke, okay?
All right.
Before you ask, no, I'm not the one doing it.
Hell, Corby.
Not me. Not it.
Not me.
Fuck.
Well, the
Happy
person
Halloween.
who's really lost out there is actually the listener. Anyway, right. I'll set the scene.
Please do.
Basically, it's a dark night on the out to sea. This is 32 kilometers off the coast of Nigeria. This is happened on the 26th of May 2013, so this is a fairly recent thing.
Oh, fairly recent.
Comparatively to most of the nonsense we talk about.
How dare you?
It is nonsense.
It is a bit nonsense.
It is.
Some of it.
80%.
Anyway, but yeah, a small tugboat called the Jascon 4 is trying to stabilize an oil tanker at a Chevron platform. It ends up getting hit by a rogue wave, and basically a rogue wave slammed into the small vessel, and it snapped the tow rope and capsized it about 4:30 a.m. 12 people went down the ship, as far as aware, and we believe it came to rest at the bottom of the ocean there, which is about 30 meters down to 100 foot down.
Oh, shit.
Quite a distance. What happens next is nothing seemingly happens for 3 days, and then some divers, who were some South African divers, were employed to investigate the scene and recover any potential bodies and just figure out exactly what went wrong. Because in a situation like this, you want to make sure. They dive down to this. It's pitch black down there. It's because it's somewhat rough seas out there, and it's quite sea. So it's not exactly the clearest water in the world. So
what point does light stop underwater?
Oh, it like loses by degrees to a certain point. And then obviously beyond a certain point, you get like down there most of the time, like you get some light, though it wouldn't be much helpful to us.
It's like you could see the light coming in, but it's not at the bottom of the ocean.
It does depend on how many anglerfish are around.
Oh, the light bulbs of nature.
It has to reflect off them. Yeah, that's the entire way it works.
How much bioluminescence is about the place?
They're the mirrors of the sea. No, they start basically knocking on the hull, trying to identify weak point stuff, and they hear this back.
Oh.
They're obviously unnerved by this.
Oh,
They go through an entrance and discover one or two bodies, and they get to a point where they can actually see something move, other than fish, see something moving in the distance of the ship. It's just through the various, because they've got lights, obviously. They see the various corridors.
I would assume they had torches. Yeah.
They're both carrying anglerfish in their hands. Just
Everybody knows that's how you see underwater. You have to shake him a few times if it goes out.
You got your own anglerfish on a tether nearby, so
Just like a balloon. You have to stop the anglerfish fighting if they get too close. Twat them in the face with torch.
Just scuba diver problems.
you bring your own torch, but not to actually light the thing up, just to clobber other anglerfish out of the way.
What they see on the corridor in one of the rooms is a hand waving.
Oh. Is it attached to
a body?
Anything? A body
Yes.
or otherwise?
I feel like
Yeah.
I've...
What else would it be attached to, Tom? It's not a body.
He's a strange ship.
Now remind everyone that this ship has been on the bottom of the ocean for 3 days.
That is an amount of time.
I think I've heard this story before, but I'll let you keep telling it.
Anyway, they go into the room. They source this to discover Harrison O'Keen, or Okene, I can't know how to pronounce his last name, the Nigerian chef of the craft, somehow still alive. I'll put a picture of how they found him on the.
You just look mildly perturbed.
Yeah.
Well, like, what are you doing here?
Sorry, I was very confused at a noise in the background, and then I realized my Hey Google thing went off.
Harrison O'Keen. Hey.
But yeah,
There's a sizable pocket of air he found.
I'm gonna say that's because that's probably how he survived for 3 days.
Yeah.
There's a lot of factors that went into this. Basically, Harrison O'Keen. Okay, I'll say Okene because it's Okene. That's probably it's more. It's probably better than O'Keen, which sounds way too Irish.
O'Keen!
Harrison. Anyway, he had a very poor couple of days. Obviously.
Had he, John?
Yes, really.
He'd woken
I wonder
up in the
why.
middle of the night in like 4:30 because he was lucky because he was awake at that time. He'd gone to the bathroom. When the
fucking
ship
brilliant!
what
What a shit you must have had!
he
It just drops one, and then all of a sudden it flips.
There must be a small part of the brain if that happened that would be like, did I do that?
That's why he had a shit 3 days. He's just spent all 3 of them thinking, "Oh God, I might have done this."
He literally had a shit 3 days.
Anyway, he was in the bathroom when the ship turned over and started to sink because it basically just flipped and went down.
Like a proper, like, when you think of, like, if you've ever been canoeing and you just barrel roll over and can't rectify.
And the problem is most of the other crew members at the time were locked in their cabins.
Oh,
because
God.
There's a whole safety precaution in the area because in case of basically pirates who regularly rob and abduct vessels in the area. A fair chunk of pirates in Somalia because of the regular traffic that comes through there. There's quite a few off the coast of Nigeria too because of oil stuff. Anyway,
stuff goes on.
Didn't you say they'd gone out to fix an oil rig or something, or to help?
Were they
fix
taking
it?
an oil tanker?
They were steadying an oil tanker as it was trying to get to it.
How does a tug steady a tanker?
Well, it's like the kind of thing where if you're the tow rope, you're basically leading it, please.
Right. Okay. So if you stop, you're dead because
You are the
presumably
anglerfish.
go. Whee! You are the anglerfish. Help! Our tugboats are fighting. Somebody get the really big floodlight.
Yeah, but what happened to Harrison? Basically, he said he was tossed in the bathroom wearing only his boxer shorts just by that motion.
Oh wow! Oh my god!
I was dazed,
Damn.
and everywhere was dark as I was thrown from one end of the small cubicle to another. That's great. He was so obviously he's lucky most of his crewmates says most of them are locked into their cabins asleep. So he managed to just trying to find his way. He managed to scramble to the engineer's office, which is about I think 1.2 meters high. So that's not like awful, but at the same point, it's probably the best you can get on a tiny
Yeah.
small boat.
Well, I imagine that
Yeah.
below decks is very cramped,
cramped.
like a tug especially.
But yeah, he by this point when he found the pocket of air, the ship had hit the bottom. He was 100
Damn, that
foot
was
down.
fast.
Yeah, well, they sink fast, and obviously he's in a bit of a situation because he is he's under the sea, 100 foot down, no food. He hasn't really got any clothes apart from his boxer shorts, and he didn't really get I believe he didn't. Yeah, no food or fresh water, and obviously cold wet room, no oxygen.
That is a bit of a situation.
Yeah.
Under the sea lied, it's not better down there.
There's a lot,
But it is wetter down
Damn
there.
you, Sebastian.
Oh, it's definitely wetter. I mean, at least he wouldn't know if he'd pissed himself.
That's
He's
true. You gotta
literally
look on
just
the
gone to the
positive side of
bathroom,
this.
Matt.
True, I realised that after I said it.
Anyway, he did say he did manage to find a bottle of Coca-Cola and a life vest with 2 small flashlights attached. Although I feel that finding a life vest when you're at the bottom of the ocean is probably the most
How
like,
ironic.
fuck you, God.
Yeah.
How big a Coke are we talking? How much?
Coca-Cola,
Are we talking like a 330 mil or?
it'll be a bottle, so it'll just be the regular sized bottle of one, yeah.
What, so 5?
Is this
500 mil probably.
That's not.
pre or post the liquidized cocaine era of Coca-Cola?
Oh,
This
it's
is
post.
2013.
It's post, Tom. It's very
Oh, so-
post liquid cocaine.
For a moment, I forgot what date we were in.
What do you think? What do you think it was?
For
1930.
some reason, I thought this was in the 30s.
The war
I heard
was still on.
and my mind did
Oh.
a few leaps.
God, I just had a moment where I was about to say this is 5 years ago. No, it's 7. You don't.
That's still not good.
Hopeful thinking. That's no. But several things combined together to actually make sure to allow Harrison Oki to spend this long underwater, because most of the time he would have died from carbon monoxide poison very, very early on.
Well, yeah, because he's obviously draining the air pocket.
Yeah, because humans inhale roughly 350 cubic feet of air every 24 hours.
Fucking hell.
So that's 10 cubic meters. And obviously his air pocket is in by... the air pocket he thinks it is probably only about 4 foot high. That's not great.
Yeah.
But the thing is, because he was under pressure at the bottom of the seafloor, he was actually taking a lot less... His air pocket had been compressed by a factor of about 4, so probably it's about 4 times that oxygen, because the air has been compressed into that area.
Oh, okay, yeah.
By
Science.
so the pressurized air pockets are about what they think is about 260 cubic feet. They reckon it would contain enough oxygen to keep him alive for 2.5 days, 60 hours, something like that.
So he was.
got lucky.
Yeah, he was lucky
Yeah.
to be found.
Damn.
Yeah, but the problem is he's got enough air, but he's breathing out carbon dioxide, which is lethal to humans at concentrations of 5% and upwards.
Oh, so, it's a mild issue.
Yeah, it's a matter.
It's a problem.
But luckily, it is also absorbed by water most of the time. So because he basically just kept splashing in a particular area, that kept on basically he increased the water surface area by splashing, and that increased the absorption of CO2 and kept the gas below the 5% level.
I am pretty sure he probably had no conscious idea that
had
splashing
no.
was contributing to this.
He is a cook on a tugboat. No, he is not. He does not know about.
How
this.
can my chefing skills help me?
Just going back to this picture. Do you see like the red round thing in the water?
I'm
Yeah.
assuming
Looks
that's...
a bit like a
Looks like a pot?
I
looks a
thought.
bit like a captain's bowl from
For the people who aren't able to see us, who are not listened on Spotify or Apple or iTunes or something like that, it's it's a picture of Harrison O'Kenny, who's basically up to his pretty much nipple height in water, completely naked apart from boxer shorts, obviously. Looking he looks
like he's slightly disgusted.
Tired. He looks more tired.
He looks perturbed.
He looks perturbed. Like, how have you gotten in here?
Yeah.
Who are you? Get out my house.
The rescue divers just broke in and saw him just taking a shit somewhere, and he's just like, "Oh, for God's sake!"
He's very confused as to why they have anglerfish.
Anyway, there is and I'm not sure there's a couple of objects floating in the water around him. Anyway, the problem, the big problem now that those two have sorted is hypothermia. You're in water that's at
Cold.
the bottom of the sea. It's
That's
going to be
It's a bit frigid.
It's got to be one hot bottle of Coca-Cola.
Which is ironic because it's so wet.
The problem is, and a horrible thing happens with like hypothermia because obviously it completely messes up your head, and you can go into a state called terminal burrowing. You ever heard of it?
Terminal burrowing.
Is that
It's
the one where
if
you are like hot but you feel cold, or vice versa? Or...
No, you do get that sometimes, but it's where you just basically try and find a small enclosed shelter, but a bit like Iron Man, where you just try and get yourself into a small area as possible. It's weird.
It's like when people die from exposure, often curled up.
And then you jump in the corner, and then you die.
Yeah.
But
we're outside. There is no corner. Keep running till you find one.
Here's the issue. The problem with this is, according to the University of Minnesota, don't know why they're going into this, even if water is almost 16 degrees Celsius, you could go unconscious within 2 hours if you've got unlucky with this.
Really?
Yeah, it is.
That's
Anyway.
like just below room temp.
Yeah, it just depends on the circumstances. But
I guess if it's constantly touching your body, it lowers the core temperature.
it does, yeah.
Bearing
That
in
is
mind,
the
your body core temperature is about
37?
36.9-ish.
Basic.
Yeah.
And if you
And
go
if-
down by like more than a
2
degree,
or 3
If
degrees.
you go to
It's-
about
it's-
35, it's
yeah.
a problem.
yeah, like
Yeah.
like even like mid 36s, like if you get like there, your enzymes start to denature, and you can't do shit.
You're gonna die.
I mean, it's
Ariel
worse if you
do
go
refer
1 degree
to
higher,
16
but
degrees is a cold wash.
Yeah, because
That is Ariel the detergent company, not Ariel the mermaid.
Ariel the little detergent.
Oh my god.
Oh,
The real reason why
uh,
people try to eat Tide Pods.
well, just to feel something.
become
I
mermaid.
missed that. Anyway, yeah. But once again, O'Kenny had great luck. He was and well, a bit of skill involved. He was able to make a small platform with basically a mattress, which kept him just above the water level.
Oh, nice.
So
Good.
yeah, they did say basically if he stayed submerged in this water for a matter of hours, he would have been dead because it's cold as hell at the bottom of the sea.
I can't imagine it would keep him afloat for long.
Yeah.
I think he wedged it so he could basically sit part on it.
Right. Okay.
Um,
So he wasn't his like lower legs might have been in the water, but not his full body.
That's still like not ideal.
Well, no, he could get himself out of the water.
Right.
essentially.
Okay. Fully.
I
out
don't
of the
think
water.
any of it's ideal, Tom.
I mean, you know what I mean. Like
Oh,
he's
this is a poor meta strat.
I mean, like he's still like out of the water,
What
but
a
he's
conundrum I find
he's
myself
still
in.
gonna be he's still at the bottom of the freezing fucking ocean.
Yeah. Bear in mind,
This is
the
gonna get a low
psychological
Yelp
damage that is
review.
probably
I don't
happening
think
to
he's
O'Kenny
gonna have like
because-
space to exercise.
because you're literally just alone with your thoughts. And he did say he could hear the things moving around the corridors, so stuff like fish and sharks, and something going after his other crewmates.
Yeah.
So he's
Ooh.
naturally terrified.
He's
The
probably
Cthulhu's.
got some scars from that
Trauma.
Yeah.
trauma.
Yeah, they literally. The salvage divers said they literally saw a human hand motion through an opening in the wreck, and
Oh, you must have thought he was hallucinating.
yeah, So somehow they managed to get like a decompression chamber down to him. So he did get out and he did survive. And he himself says, this quote from O'Kenny: "When we came out, I saw the stars in the sky and I thought I must have been in the water for the whole day." O'Kenny told the Nation. It was after I left the decompression chamber that I was told that I'd spent over 2 days there.
Fucking
So
hell.
he was coming. Yeah, he.
Well, obviously, you would have had no way to tell how much time had passed.
No.
So could they not? I don't know how diving works, but could they not just put a diving mask on him?
No.
He spent too long down the level. If you bring him up too quickly, he'll...
Obviously, yeah. If you go up too quickly, you'll get the bends.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think because he'd acclimatized so much to
Right,
it.
okay.
He spent 2 days down there.
Also, to be fair, I don't think they brought an extra wetsuit.
Well, yes, that's true.
I don't think they expected to find anyone, so they didn't bring any spare snorkels.
Imagine if they just brought one, but there were two
Snorkel's not
survivors.
working. We're too far down. We're only breathing water.
This isn't the first time this kind of stuff is happening. It happens very, very rarely. And again, he's probably the largest example because he spent the most time under there, and it's just he should not have survived.
I imagine he's the most recent one as well. But
he's one of the more recent ones. Yeah, there was one in 1991, a scuba diver called Michael Proudfoot. And
any relation to the Proud Feet from Lord of the Rings?
Probably no.
That fictional family.
But what he did was he was exploring an underwater wreck, funnily enough, in 1991 off the Baja California coast, when he basically accidentally smashed his breathing regulator.
Ooh.
And he lost his entire air supply. But he managed to find an air pocket, and reportedly survived for 2 days on sea urchins and a small pot containing some fresh water before he was rescued. So people do get away with it sometimes.
It's possible.
And now he just has a real taste for sea urchin.
he does. Isn't sea urchin the one that's incredibly dangerous to prepare?
No, that's
pufferfish.
Well, sea urchin could get a bit of it,
But sea urchin have a nasty jab to them because they've got spikes
no, they
all
do.
over them.
I once on holiday accidentally kicked one and it really sucked. I've still got the scar thing on my foot. It wasn't water. I was just walking forward and then basically one.
He was just walking down the road in Yorkshire and there was just a sea urchin there.
The classic Yorkshire sea urchin.
Don't see many of them nowadays.
The urchins have got me. They shouldn't have been playing around with them kids. No, I mean, sea urchins got me.
When people are talking about urchins.
That's why all the Korsler are dead.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was the story of Harrison O'Kelly, which somehow survived off the coast, and I imagine probably shit the divers up really badly when he first saw it.
Yeah.
Zombie! Oh god, this guy.
What Lovecraftian bollocks is this?
Yeah, there is footage online of them finding him.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll have had to.
Ominous
2013, they'll have had to document everything they went across, wouldn't they?
Yeah. Maybe we'll try and link that like on the Twitter feed or whatnot when this goes out.
In the
People see.
Well, that was
Yes,
terrifying.
Yeah. It's just I don't know what the hell I'd do in that case. It's just
Drowned, probably.
Yeah, I mean, I'd
Well,
probably
as shown though, he didn't realize he'd been down there for 2 days.
No, you
wouldn't.
lose
If
track
you
of time.
survived there, you wouldn't know how long had passed because you are sat there essentially in
Yeah, you've got no sense to take. You've got no way of timing anything. You've got a Coke bottle and some underpants and a crap life vest.
I imagine with the lack of oxygen, there was a lot of passing out and waking up.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. That
I guess
was just
you
not...
wouldn't know.
Just for, like, energy
They found him when he pretty much come to the end of his oxygen supply.
I'm gonna say, provided, like, you know...
A couple more hours and he probably wouldn't make
All
it.
I'm assuming is, like,
Lucky
all
they
you
found
can
a
do
way
to
to-
conserve energy is just, like, drift in and out of sleep.
Well, yeah,
Worse
maybe
ways to go.
not. But anyway.
I'm sure
yes,
there are, but this does seem like a pretty bad way.
Oh, it's not great. I mean, there's worse. Burning's bad. You don't burn down
Burning
there.
is pretty bad. Would you rather burn or drown?
Drown.
Drown.
The age old...
Whoever picks burn is a wrong person.
A wrong person.
God. But yes,
They are not correct.
But yes, that's the end of my segment. That was the Senketsu brown bear incident and the Jascon 4 incident as well off the coast of Nigeria. They didn't call it that. I'm calling it that.
Well, we certainly went from whatever I did to that.
We've certainly had a lot of variety this episode.
Matt, who definitely did this the same day, did some urban British
Live on
ghost stories.
Halloween.
Shush, John, it was all part of the funnies.
Coming at you live on
Live straight to your
Halloween,
door on
1991.
Halloween night.
I'm sorry you've caught the funnies.
Help,
Now.
they're in me.
At least me and Tom
Now,
were consistent.
gentlemen, do we have any rules for the
Rules?
rules for the listeners? For
Rules?
Halloween?
Leave
we've
us a
got
review
three.
on iTunes. That's what you do with podcasts there,
Do-
don't you?
Do we want
Yep.
a review?
I mean, yeah, like
a review.
Only if
Only
it's
one.
good. Wait, no.
No more.
Leave us a 5-star review, but you can say anything you like in it.
Yes!
These guys are shit.
As long as it's 5 stars.
Please tell us how this episode has benefited the children.
Oh, fuck.
In addition, don't get them wet. Don't feed them after
the
midnight.
children?
Don't expose them
Don't get
to
the children wet.
sunlight.
Don't,
Definitely not.
don't
multiply.
don't feed them, don't expose them, and don't.
What you're basically saying is don't have children.
Yes. And with
Let
that,
us
you can
all
find me
die
on
out.
youtube.com/. It's not @ whatever. I have a link. There's links in the thing, and you can find me on Twitter and on Twitch at Gaius Nix. GUIAS. Twitter, there is no _. Twitch, there is in between the two. That was probably the worst way I could have phrased that.
Probably.
All of the links to socials will be
In the
show
descriptions.
notes.
Show? Is that what we're called? Is that what this is now, Thomas?
Yeah.
Show?
Fucking hell. We better up our game.
Congrats, guys. We're a show now.
I should buy a tie in
Are we a
preparation.
shonen or
No.
No.
Sometimes.
a shit show?
Don't you bring your shonen to the fact, boys.
This was a special, you twat. I'm allowed to bring whatever I want.
He's right. There are no rules. I could fold myself inside out.
Would that improve or no? It doesn't. Anyway,
Don't prove me.
As for my socials, they are at randomjot on Twitter and Tom H. Jordan on YouTube, where you can see some of the stuff that I've made on my own.
Oh god, we do
and
also have
the
an
tweets that
official
I do.
Twitter.
Yes.
Yeah, we do have an official Twitter as well. Which, I mean, you might have found this through the Twitters. In which case, good job, the birds found you.
And that is at FVSF official.
Indeed, capital Fs.
F versus F. Official.
Huge capital Fs.
Capitals matter, but oh no, I'm not sure.
And as we've already said jokingly, no, but please, seriously, please leave us a review on iTunes. It makes people more likely to find the show.
It does. I mean, we've got.
Yeah.
I think someone's found it. I
mean,
we know at least
a lot of West Virginians
At least 2 Australians have found it. I'm not sure
Yes.
how or why.
and people in
Telegrams.
Texas. Weirdly,
Yeah, Texas and no one in Pennsylvania. They don't appreciate it.
nobody live
Well,
and local to us.
We'll get
I'm
North
sorry.
Carolina.
It sounded that your nation was on fire.
Jesus, John,
What did you
speak
do
your
it? What? I'm
Oh, look,
sorry
he's
your
holding a
nation
piece
was
of-
on fire. Oh wait, you did it. What?
You just see burning coals behind John as his green screen falls away, and he's just in the mine.
I've been here for 17 years, and the fires haven't claimed me yet.
Is it really bad that my brain went, John's not that old?
He is.
I'm a youthful 16. That's how this works.
I guess. Yeah, let's leave it there.
if that's
Yeah.
everything, then all that's left to say, I think, is Happy Halloween.
Oh, and if you find an abandoned church at about midnight, you can go in, sure, but if you do go in and if you hear music, know there's problems. If it's jazz, it's fine. If it's slow jazz, you're dead.
What's the difference?
One's slow.
Bit like you.